Well, good afternoon, everybody. Can you see me? Have we got anybody waiting in the waiting room over there? Let's go and have a look. Mitchell, everybody's coming in. Can you hear me, Miss Bolton?
They changed my name.
And you can see me?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Well, we've got a green screen there. It's got somebody on green screen. Fantastic. Okay. Right, I've just got a few little... Do you know what? Oh, my goodness, what a morning we had. What a morning we had. I'm going to sit down. I'm a bit tired, actually. So who's here on... We've got a few people coming on YouTube, so let's get a message going up there. I tell you what, when you do things like this on your own, it comes at you like a steam train. I'm going to just pop a message, and when you haven't had much sleep, it's a bit hard to concentrate. Okay, so let's put a message up there. So, message to all our YouTube friends. Any shout outs from YouTube? I want to set a little video camera up for you as well this time. So let me try and do that while we're waiting a moment. I've got a GoPro camera here, and I'm going to show you what's going on in here. Who have we got here? Miss Giblin, Mrs. Giblin even. Mrs. Giblin sitting upright when I mention her name. That's good. Do you get a bit, you all get a bit jittery when you hear your name, don't you? Teachers are worse than the children, actually, because they're the ones who have to behave. Teachers have to behave. Now, just to be quite clear, I'm a behaviour, not a behaviour czar, I'm a behaviour star, S-T-A-R, S-T-A-R. And everybody behaves because my baseball cap says obey and the posse. So I'm obey and you're the posse today. Who else have we got? We've got Missy of 5, Miss Nelson's there, Mr. Stanton. Mr. Stanton's riding high on the screen. We've just got him up there, just about. Yes.
Did you send me a present? I've just had a delivery.
Hang on a second, miss. I'm going to put you up. Let's get you up here then. Hang on. Let's get you all on the screen. Hold on. Let me have a look here. If I press that and that, and let's get you on speaker view. Tell you what, guys, there's so much to do here. Speaker view and get rid of that. Close that. And full screen. Actually, we'll keep you all up. What you got there, miss? That's a big box. What's that? A mirror ball?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm glad it arrived. I thought the one thing you needed in your life was a mirror ball.
I do. Everyone needs a mirror ball in their life. I don't know how I've lived so long without one.
Well, I might play my little mirror ball video actually, because I've got a mirror ball in the street outside my house, believe it or not. And I've just been out there because Malumba just popped round to get a cable. And it's the most beautiful thing in the world because the sun shines off it and it shines all down the street. Let's see if I've got that video, actually. I'd like you to see that. Would you like to see my video of my mirror ball?
I would.
I bet you would, because you like a bit of a... Well, you were on radio. Can you tell everybody what happened on BBC Radio, Coventry and Warwick Radio the other day? You had a chat with Sandra Godley. Do you remember that little pact you made with her?
Yes, I did. I'm going to get some leg warmers.
So tell everybody what happened.
So Nick contacted me on Saturday and asked if I'd like to go on the radio, to which I said, yes, please. And then Sunday morning, I had a chat with Sandra from BBC CWR, and we were discussing this weekend and all the exciting things that are happening. And I understand she's going to be on with you tomorrow, is she, Nick?
She is. We have got Sandra Godley is an amazing legend here in Coventry. She's on Coventry Radio. She had a chat with you, and she's helping us run tomorrow, which is going to be pretty epic and awesome, to be quite honest. Now, you've heard of Kylie Minogue, I think, haven't you, miss?
I have indeed. Slightly.
Well, basically, as we discussed earlier, she was kind of made famous, and I think her musical career was jump-started by Pete Waterman, who we heard from earlier this morning, and I'm sure we're going to be playing that video again this weekend. And I heard Kylie talking over Christmas on a BBC local radio thing, which was absolutely wonderful. And she was talking about the power of community. She was talking about the power of music, the power of art. Check this little video out I've just made here.
I think there's something to be said for the history of disco and where that came from. People finding a place to feel they belonged or wanted to escape to. I do like the notion of a disco ball. You just have to put one light on it and it refracts light everywhere, and you know, it just kind of makes everything look pretty and in motion. And yeah, so it's kind of finding yourself through the darkness or through the struggle. So I think that's one of the reasons that disco has resonated so well this year.
It's been one of the good things to come out of this year. We have reconnected and rediscovered and remembered how important community is.
I think there's something to be said for
done that again. Hang on.
the history of disco.
Go away. There we go. So, Miss, what do you think? The power of disco balls to shine some light in the darkness. Are you kind of down with me on that vibe?
I am. I love that phrase, shine the light in the darkness. I think that really summarises what we need to do right now in all of our lives. Brilliant.
It's very special, isn't it? It really is very special. So what are you going to do with that? You're going to hang that mirror ball up in the school, get a few little videos and some selfies?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to get John, our amazing SSA, to help me find the perfect place to hang it.
And then don't forget to take it home, because you need it in your living room tomorrow night, because tomorrow we're having the world's biggest disco party. Nothing like aiming high, Miss, is there?
Always.
And basically what we're going to do, we're going to have the world's biggest disco party under the world's second biggest disco ball, because the biggest one in the world is actually owned by a man called Rob the Bank, who's got a festival called Camp Festival. And we just heard yesterday that he's actually doing Camp Festival. They've just announced it yesterday. So we're all going to Camp Festival this summer. And they've got an even bigger mirror ball. So tomorrow night we're going to have the mirror ball hanging over the cardboard cathedral, hanging from a tree. We had some video shot yesterday, and somebody's dog died, unfortunately, so that's knocked our schedules back a bit. So tomorrow, hopefully today, but certainly tomorrow, we're going to see that. So, Miss, you sent me a video, didn't you, of 50 things to do before leaving Joseph Cash, I seem to remember.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the background to that, would you?
Yeah, so this is something we developed a few years ago. I'm sure Miss Burnside will chip in and help me out, but we were looking at how to develop the curriculum and what we consider to be important to Joseph Cash, and we came up with 50 things that we want to make sure all our children do. Some of them more than once. That's the important line. It's not a tick list that you just do them once and that's it. We have to keep going back to them. And yeah, so they're creative, they're things to do outside, they're things to do in teams. Not particularly linked to maths and English skills, but you know, a whole range of different creative art, science skills there that we want all of our children to visit. Am I missing anything, Mrs. Burnside?
No, I think you've covered most of it. There's a focus on sort of our children being leaders, like you say, working as a team, and just giving them some experiences that they wouldn't necessarily get out within their community. It's doing it sort of in school. Creating memories for life.
So, Miss, did you help pull this video together?
I helped put the video together, yeah, with a number of our children across the school.
Fantastic.
And I asked them all to share their favourite 50 things that they've done since being at Joseph Cash.
Wonderful, because I know that you've actually got a lovely sign in your reception, haven't you, and a lovely display, which maybe we'll pull up after this. Should we play the video first? Let me just check everybody's out of the waiting room, because we're actually running this quite tight, because I must stress this is a public Zoom room, and we're just stressing that everybody knows that, and it looks like there's nobody waiting, so we're not having anybody just barging in. That's our kind of safeguarding view, if you like. So what I'm going to do then, Miss, I'm going to click this little button here, and I'm going to get rid of you. How do I get rid of you? Where have you gone? Right, so let's fade you out, and let's play this lovely little video from about 50 things to do at Joseph Cash. And can you see that on the screen there?
Yeah, we can see it.
Right.
Oh, I can see. Yeah, I see the picture that you had up a moment ago.
Joseph Cash are very good. I enjoy playing in sports competitions, especially our school sports day and being part of the team. I like the javelin throwing challenge.
The sound's gone, Nick.
It is quiet, isn't it? It is quiet.
We have got the children ready to talk through it as well.
Okay, hold. I don't know what's going. Why that's so quiet.
And they're not on the stage, Nick.
Right. Okay. Well, let's sort that out. Let's pause that and let's show you how we do this on the fly then. Okay. So I've got somebody looking for a red cable in one of these boxes. It's a big red one. You'll see it. You won't miss it. I sent the number and a cable. It didn't work. Right. So let's max you guys up. Oops. Full screen. Okay. So there's our video. So I need to come into the video and get the color key. Okay, not that. Sorry, boys and girls. I've got people coming in here grabbing cables. I'm going to try and do this. Clatter, 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 clatter. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So green screen. Let's choose my little pen there and let's make them green. Right. And then let's put them on our stage. There's our lovely stage. And there they are. Okay, now I don't know quite why the audio wasn't working terribly well. Let's try that again. Can you hear that at all there?
We've got the children here, Nick. We've got some of them zooming in from home and some of them in classes. Shall we just go and speak to them live and they can tell us about the 50 things? That'd be easier.
I really don't know why that's quite so quiet. Yeah, hang on a second. They're there, look. They look super, don't they?
I know, gorgeous.
All of us had a violin and started to play them. Some of us got to go up and play them.
I can share that with our children separately. We can put
Well, we'll
them
make it.
live, obviously.
Don't worry, we'll pull something together based on this. We'll edit it back. There you are. Look, they're actually on the stage. There's their moment of glory. And we'll run this again later. We'll get this working properly over the weekend. We'll show it all tomorrow properly.
I enjoyed being a leader on my winter festival. I made biscuits and
Okay.
Do you want to speak to some of the people we've got ready?
I
Nick?
do. Hang on a second. We can still keep this playing in the background. Let's get you up. Hang on a second. Right.
museum called All Things Wild. I got to learn about dinosaurs and see some of the fossils.
Hang on a sec.
The 50 things at Joseph Cash are really good. I enjoy playing in sport competitions, especially our school's sports throwing challenge.
It's working a bit, Nick.
I'm here. Don't worry. I'm just trying to get that zoom back.
Eating the reindeers at school.
Where's it gone?
Joseph Cash is trapped overnight. We did lots of school activities, including toasting marshmallows on the campfire. I slept in a tent with my friends.
I've got it. Okay. So let's get.
School was we made some den, played in the mud, and what we else did was we picked up some leaves, and some of us climbed up this like giant tree. We had to take turns. We were all playing Gumbo.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I got a bit confused there for some reason. Now, can I hear you? Can somebody speak in Zoom?
Yeah, hello.
Right, so I'm going to pop it on speaker view in Zoom. So whoever speaks will automatically be selected. So,
Hello.
speaker view.
Hi, Mrs. Nelson here.
Hello. That's not you, is it?
That was me saying hello a moment ago. Nothing's happened to my screen.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting. Look at that. Can you see that?
I mean, that looks amazing.
It's not what we want, though, is it? So that's strange. Lost.
I have to say, Nick, you are showing the Joseph Cash values today. You are being resilient. You're trying new things. You are never giving up. You are showing all of our school values.
I tell you what, I appreciate that, Miss, because I don't think I've ever been. I'm tempted to say I've never been quite so stressed in my life. But when you're among friends, you kind of just ride with it a little bit, don't you?
It's fine. We don't mind.
So I had you there, and now I've just lost you again. So did you see yourselves up there for a moment, a split second? So that's what we want. I want that there. Okay. So what seems to happen is every time I take you full screen, it seems to flip out. So we've got a young lady, Bella. You've got a green screen there, Bella, I see.
She has. Oh, she's just appeared. She was there a moment ago, ready to talk.
See, that's the weird thing, is how speaker view seems to freak out when I do that.
So, Bella, do you want to unmute yourself and see if we can get you up? Hi, Bella.
Hello.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm going to get rid of myself because I'm squashing you on the screen now. That's not a good look, is it? Why can't I get rid of it?
I know Bella was going to talk about one of our school visits that she went on and a visitor that we had to school.
Okay, Bella, do you want to do that then?
Yeah.
Tell us about your visitor. Tell us about your school visit.
Where did you go?
We went to this museum called All Things Wales.
Oh,
Okay. What did you see?
We saw some dinosaurs, and we got to hold some dinosaur fossils,
whoa, real ones.
and it was really fun.
What was the best thing you saw? Can you remember what was the most exciting thing?
So the best thing about it was you got to see like giant statues of dinosaurs.
That sounds incredible. Were they little or big?
Big.
How big were they? Can you give me an idea? How many cars were they high, would you say?
Maybe about 7.
7 cars? Goodness me, that is absolutely massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is massive. Were you a bit scared by them?
Yeah. I accidentally thought they were real ones.
Did you thought they were real ones?
Yeah.
Blimey. Well, the good news is there aren't any dinosaurs left, are there? Did you see the rhinoceros that was on the Zoom this morning?
Yeah.
So are you going to enter our competition to draw a rhinoceros?
Okay.
You're going to give that a go, are you?
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, that's lovely. So you are now live on our cardboard stage. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You are now live on that stage because we've built the stage bit first. We've actually got that finished, and you are the first person ever in a primary school child, because Miss had to go earlier. You are now live on a stage made out of cardboard. What do you think of that?
Wow. Exciting.
Do you think that's cool? And what we're going to do is we're going to spend a bit more time tonight getting it all working. Now we've actually nearly finished building the cathedral in your school playground, and we're going to get a drone to come and film it. Now, do you know what drones have? Do you know what drones have on them so that you can so that they can film things? Do you know what they have?
A camera.
They do. They have a camera, don't they? That's exactly what they have. And this, can you see this? I've got a little camera here. Can you see that? This is called a GoPro. Would you like to see all the tech that I've got here? Because I think Miss Nelson thinks I'm making all this up. She thinks I've got 20 people here. Would you like to see my GoPro?
Yeah.
Watch this. So this is me on my GoPro. And I'm going to turn you off if I can find out where to do that. And I'm going to show you all the tech that we've got here, because some people think that this is easy. And there we are. And I'm going to turn myself off as well, if I can find where to do that, because there's a little me there. We don't really want that little me over there. Now where do I turn that off? I've got so many of these settings. I haven't done this properly. So when you don't do things properly, there's a technical term, and it's called getting your knickers in a twist. Have you ever heard that phrase before? And I've got my knickers in a twist. Can you see yourself on there? So now this is what I've actually got. I've actually in a studio in front of a green screen with lots of computers in front of me. Can you see all those computers? So basically I've got one laptop with two screens on either side. I've got a laptop down here with my PowerPoint on it. Can you see that? Have you muted your microphone again, Bella? I can't hear you now. Not to worry. And this is all the tech that we've got. And I'm in a bedroom. I'm in a, whoops, let's flip that round. I'm in a spare bedroom here.
Wow.
And with all my tech. That's my desk over there. I'm not going to let Miss Nelson see my desk, because I think Chris Dyson might be watching. Actually, I've got to put a shout out to say hello to Philip from home, from Lizzie Dunning. Philip's watching from home. So should we both wave, Bella? Should we wave to Philip? Should we both wave to him? You wave and I'll wave. There we go.
I can't see your hands. There you go.
and Miss Nelson thought she was the only person in the world with a mirror ball. But he's got one. And there was Mr. Dyson from Leeds. He's coming on hopefully about 2 o'clock. We're going to have a science workshop in a minute. Who's been saying hello? Curtis Ewing is saying hello. Who's that there? Camilla Feeler. Hello, Camilla's out in the sun according to her little picture there. Somebody says somebody wants to get in the Zoom room. Does that mean somebody's locked out the Zoom room? Let me just have a quick look.
Why the first one to try and go?
Pardon?
Oh, you think?
It looks like everybody's in who needs to be in. Miss Nelson, is there anybody else you wanted to get up for a quick chat now?
Yeah, I can see we've got Bejan zoomed in from home. I know Bejan wanted to tell you, Nick, all about some of the clubs that we do at Joseph Cash. Do you want to unmute yourself, Bejan?
So at Joseph Cash, we're attending after school clubs, which are not like about maybe about half an hour and a half. And we're doing clubs such as football, cooking, and reading.
Wow. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, a lot.
Do you know, it's funny because when people talk about art, they often just think of painting. But I say that art... Go on.
But art is not just only painting. It's like many things like skills. It can be a human sculpture.
Wow, that's what I call profound. That is amazing. I also think that you've also mentioned food and football, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know much about football. Have you got a football team in Cov?
No.
There isn't.
We have we have a sky blue. What was it called?
Coventry City, Sky Blue Army.
Yeah, Coventry City. Yeah.
I'm glad about that. I think you've just got yourself into a lot of trouble, young man, with somebody who sounds a little bit passionate about their football. Oh, fantastic!
Nick, I was going to say we've also got Riley. He's waiting. He's actually got some of our Joseph Cash characters joining him on screen.
Oh wow! Hang on a sec. Thank you very much, Bijan. That was fantastic. Should we have a high five on the screen?
You've been using a photo of Bijan, actually, Nick. You've had a photo of him in a rocket on your leaflets.
Really?
It's on your front cover. Yeah.
Okay, Bijan, let's do that high five again. Boom. Did you enjoy making rockets that day?
I enjoyed it. I was over the moon with it.
You've got away with words. You're a young person after my heart. You are. That is. Do you know what I'm going to do, Miss Nelson? Can you write this down? I made a book. I don't know if I ever told you about this. I wrote a book called The Rocket Kids Club.
Yeah, we've got some copies of it in school.
Did you get one, Bijan?
No, I don't think so.
Would you like one of your own? I'd like to think you'd know. There's no think so. If I gave you a book, you'd never forget it. I'm fairly sure of that. I am going to give you a copy of my book, The Rocket Kids Club. Oh, I've got one here. The trouble is I've shrunk my video down, so I'm not going to be able to show you very large. Actually, here we are. Let me just show you here. So this... Well, I've got the technology. I'm not actually. If there's anybody technical watching what I'm doing, they're going to be a bit cross because I'm not doing this properly at all. This is what's called bad practice. But I'm going to put myself over there on the side by you, make myself a little bit smaller, like this. It's not too bad, my tech, is it? It could be better, and we will get it better. So this is the Rocket Kids book, and I actually read this for a Kashinori, actually, Miss, didn't I?
You did, yeah. They're on our website.
So, Miss, what we're going to do is I'm going to send a copy of this for Beijan specially. Will you remind me, because I'm going to be a bit absent-minded, and I'm going to sign it for you, Beijan, for being such a great rocket kid. Is that cool?
I'm shocked. I'm out of words.
Yeah, Beijan, I'm going to tell you one thing now for the rest of your life. You will never, ever be out of words because you've had a great education. I know that you read a lot of books, and when you read, you get more words. It's called building your vocabulary, and that gives you a lot of opportunity because if you're a good talker like you are, people will want you to work for them because you've got what they could call good communication skills. Yeah. And when you when you communicate the way you are, not just using words that are very what they call matter of fact, that's red and that's black. You're using words that connect. You're saying very special things that make me think you're a very special person. And if I was a boss, I would say two things about you. One, that you're interested in things like rockets and things I like. So that makes me like you, because if you're interested in things like I like, then that's good. And also if you're interesting, and bosses want interesting people like you in their teams, in their companies, because that will make everybody else inspired, not just to learn, but to work. Yeah?
Yeah.
And there's a story in this book about being interesting and interested. So thank you very much, Bijan. You've been fantastic. And I'm actually going to also, Miss, can you write this down as well? I'm just going crazy because I think I've let you down a bit with my tech.
Actually, my dream job is to, when I grow up, to be actually an astronaut.
Right. Okay. That's fantastic. Homer Hickam is, Homer Hickam, I'm not going to, this isn't going to be a big book tour now, but you can never talk enough about books. This is the Rocket Boys book that I talked about when I came to school, about those four boys who learned to make rockets and ended up working for NASA. And Elon Musk the other day launched a rocket, and I only saw it because Homer Hickam tweeted it. And they launched a rocket and it went up. It was a test one, and then they had motors and they turned it so the rocket went like this, and then it came down like this because lots of wind resistance to slow it down, and then they turned it back on its end. And the idea was they were going to land it on the ground like that, and they could fill it up with petrol and do it again. Does that sound cool?
That is so cool.
Well, it didn't go quite like that, because what happened when the rocket got here, one of the motors, one of the second motors didn't fire. So it didn't come down like that. It came down like this. And what do you think happened?
So I think it just fell apart, maybe broke.
Very good words. A lot of people would have said it crashed. A lot of people would have said it exploded. But you're obviously a really good rocket kid because you didn't use that language. You know what Homer Hickam said? Homer Hickam said it had a rapid disassembly.
Yeah,
a rapid.
That's what I would say.
They've got away with words. Bijan, I'm going to have to go to somebody else in a minute, but very quickly, a very, very special school teacher who I met on the Isle of Wight exactly a year ago now. I met him on World Book Day. And he sent me this book. He sent me this book called Armstrong, which is a story about a mouse that goes to space. What year are you? What year are you in, Bijan?
4.
You're in year 4. Okay, because when people get to year 3 and year 4, they all start thinking they're a bit cool and they don't want to read books about mice and roller skates and rockets. They just want to read cool things and play Minecraft and go on Fortnite all the time. This book is utterly brilliant. I promise you, this is possibly one of the best books you'll ever see or read. And I'd like to send this to school, and I would like you to read some of these stories to some of the children in year 4 and year 6 and early years and year 1. And I want this book to, when I next see you, I want all the corners bent, because I want you to read it. I want you to love it. I want you to get ideas, because this is the story of the space race told by a mouse. And it's called Armstrong. And I'm going to buy a copy of that and send that to you all at Cash as an apology for not being quite as organized as I could. But you know what? What we've proven, it doesn't matter, because we're making these connections. Bijam, high five again. Brilliant to meet you. Great to see you again. And I'm so glad Miss told me that. Thank you very much, Miss.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've got a science lesson in a minute for you all, but I just want to get a couple more children on. So we're going to have to just be a slight delay on that. Who have we got next, Miss?
I think if we go to Mrs. Burnside's camera, we've got Riley there ready, and he's been clever and changed his backdrop to show all our school characters.
He has as well, hasn't he? What we might have to do, we might just make this the last one for now, and then we might do a few maybe later on or something, Miss. I've got a science workshop, should have started 5 minutes ago. Hello, young man. What have you got to tell us all about?
So in Joseph Cash, we do like reception and nursery do like doing activities day.
Oh wow!
And sometimes once in, I can't remember what year, I think it was year 2, we did a Guy Fawkes Day.
Wow! A Guy Fawkes Day, is that? Did you Guy Fawkes at Christmas? Do you?
No, November.
What? Oh, November. Oh, that's right. Silly me. That's a bit silly, isn't it, for me to say that? Fantastic. So, what else are you going to tell us? 50 things.
And sometimes we get to do camping and forest school.
Camping and forest school. How lucky. Amazing.
We get to roast marshmallows on the campfire.
That's amazing. Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to come up. I really want to come up to Joseph Cash again sometime. And I want to come and see you. I've got somebody talking in my ear who's telling me that we've got a science lesson that's 5 minutes late. So I'm going to have to do that now. Do you mind if I do that? Now, are you going to be able to log on at home over the weekend?
Yeah.
Because, as I say, we are building, as we speak, we are building a massive Coventry Cathedral in the school playing fields as we speak. It's all happening. I can't believe it. I really can't. It's just unbelievable what's going on here. And we are going to cut to that tomorrow, because I happen to know that they've nearly finished. Well, this is what's going on now, but we're going to build the modern cathedral up this end, all over here. And tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we've got a young lad called Callum from Coventry. He's going to do some DJing. We're going to have a kids' disco, 8 till 9. And at 8:30, are you allowed to stay up till 8:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are going to launch the tower like a rocket. It's going to take off and go to space like Elon Musk, like Bijam wants to do, and all the boys and girls. And hopefully we'll hear from some more of you later on today. Thank you very much for that contribution.
How are you going to do that?
Pardon?
How are you going to do that? When if you put an engine on it, won't the cardboard just melt down even if it lands?
Well, you've got to spend.
Maybe in space, probably.
Well, I think you need to spend the next few days kind of thinking how we might get around that, don't you?
Yeah.
Think about ways that we could maybe maybe we could wet the cardboard so it doesn't burn. We could put tin foil on it. We'll have to think of that. It's a very good idea. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we've got a massive cardboard parade. I'm going to have to go now, guys, because I've got a very special science teacher who's ready to have a chat. Let me just speak to Miss Nelson very quickly. Is she still there?
I'm here.
Or is it teacher tea break, I heard? I think Chris Dyson's gone for a cup of tea and a biscuit by the sound of it. I'm getting a bit of cheek, actually. I'm getting a bit of cheek here off Chris Dyson. I'm not too happy about that. This is not very good behaviour I'm experiencing here, miss.
Not being kind. Is he not being kind and caring?
He's not being kind and caring, miss. I don't think that's really really on, is it? You went up to Parkins Primary, didn't you? I seem to remember. How was that for you? Yeah,
I went up with 3 of the members of staff. It was a brilliant little road trip out. We love getting out and seeing different schools across the country out of Coventry. And yeah, we had a great day at Parklands Leeds and met Chris, and we saw some wonderful lessons, walked around the school, met children in the dining hall. It was a really inspirational day.
Well, I always say the best school leaders get out, they meet people, they collaborate, they know that they don't know everything. I actually had a row with someone on Twitter the other day because I said, oh, you're a bit of a know-it-all, sorry if I don't agree. And he blocked me. That was the end of that. He didn't want to talk to me anymore because he did. And it was, for me, that was proof of the pudding. Nobody knows everything. I'm showing here that I haven't read the manual, so therefore I don't know how to use my software as well as I can. But you can be sure that we'll suss it out by the end of the year, end of the weekend, I mean. This time last year was a disaster. So, Miss, thank you so much for that.
Be back in a bit then.
So remind me what's going on later on today. What we got planned for you guys. Let's have a quick look at my little show.
Joseph Cash has got talents.
Joseph, fantastic.
We've had lots of children sending in some of their talents at home, and a few children that are in school. So I'm hoping we can get the sound working on that video, because that's the one we really need the sound to work on. And then there's a Kashinori if we want to hear a story all about Lady Godiva that you can share.
Could I ask you to do me one favour and listen to the video again at your end and make sure the audio is loud enough on the video, because it's weird that it plays my videos loud and not yours. It might just be yours are a bit quiet.
Yeah, no, I pulled up the sound to the highest volume on all of the inputs
when you record it. But we'll get some stuff going. I'm going to thank you very much, Miss Nelson. We'll catch up. So basically, we've got Professor Stephen Heppel coming on. He's scheduled in for about 2:45. He'll probably be happy at 3. So we'll catch up the lost time. We'll still have lots of time for you. And we'll get it all right. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Bless you. Thanks very much, Miss.
Bye.
Takes a brave school leader to work with me, and one of those brave school leaders is somebody like Chris Dyson. Bye-bye. And Chris Dyson, bye-bye. I'm going to... We don't have to leave if you don't want to, because the show goes on. We're going to have a lesson. We've got a science lesson now, and I just need to create a link for that. And because I got a little bit caught out. So what I might do is just let you watch that video again. So let's play our video of Pete Waterman first, shall we? Pete Waterman.
Hello, Joseph Cash Primary School. I hear them on your wall of fame. Things that make Coventry famous. Well, I thank you for that. That's brilliant. I grew up not far from where you go to school, and I went to school not far from where you are. You see, anything can be achieved if you try hard enough. These are difficult times, and I know it's hard, but stick in there. Maybe you'll get your own wall of fame. And thank you, Joseph Cash Primary School.
Take that down. Darryl, where do you want the cardboard? Okay, mate, take that then. We're flat out here at Joseph Cash Primary School up in Coventry. We've got to take this whole Tracy Island down because Darryl Wakelam has built us a cardboard cathedral that we've got to build here on the playing field for our hashtag Coventry weekend. Hashtag Fun Day Friday 21. We've got a whole day of activities. Prince of Wales School in Dorchester, we're doing a live link to a rhinoceros in Wales that you're going to be able to learn how to draw. We've got a whole load of stuff that's been curated by Jude Wilson, who co-wrote Rise Up, which is Stormzy's blog, and we've got DJs and MCs late into the night. Saturday is our hashtag Art of Community 21 day, which has been co-curated by the amazing Sandra Godley. Darryl Wakelam is going to show us how to turn the cathedral tower here into a rocket that we can launch Saturday night, and Tyron Cardboardias live linking in from Russia to show us how to build our own cardboard parade. And we're delighted that the Art and Culture Minister, Caroline Dinage, is going to join us on Saturday to say a few words as well. Saturday night, we've got DJs, we've got discos, because we're going to be dancing under the world's second biggest mirror disco ball. Rob the Bank's got the first one, you wouldn't let us borrow it. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Chris Sullivan's going to be doing his fire pit chats. Friday night with Rankin Jr., who is the son of Rankin Roger of the Beat. Saturday, it's Neville Staples, one of the first members of the Specials with his partner, Christine. and Basie from the selector. This city is going to show the country how it can rise from the ashes again and take us with it. We've had enough of all this talk about whether our kids are going to keep up or not. The challenge is us keeping up with them. And Sunday is the hashtag EvolvedEd21 co-conference, co-curated with this legend, Professor Stephen Heppel. We've got amazing tech. That means if you want to perform, if you want to read, you want to sing, you want to play, you want to perform, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you can video call in on a green screen and we can put you on our stage. So download the brochure, hashtag Coventry21, a 3-day community art festival for all our kids and all our futures. Be a part of it. Yes, be sure to download the brochure. And if you do, then you'll be able to see what's going on. We need to update that for tomorrow. I'm here in front of our fantastic cardboard stage and set. Really, I mean, it's amazing. We've got to obviously work a few little things out, but we only got it going this morning at 5 o'clock this morning. It was so complicated. Who's out here? We've got Camilla Feeler's putting a shout out. That's a lovely. Camilla got a nice little clap, so she's out in the sun, brilliant. JC got talent, 2:15. We're waiting for our science teacher. I can see that our science teacher, Dr. Jo, is on standby. I can see her. She's looking remarkably jolly and happy and chilled, given the nonsense that I've put her through this morning. But she'll tell you one thing about experiments, that they don't always go right, but you don't just say, oh, I'm going to give up because it didn't go right. What you actually do is you say, well, it didn't go right. Why didn't it go right? What have I got to do to learn to make it better? And what did we learn? And I think, well, I might, you know what, I'm not going to get her on. I'm just going to do her talk for her, I think, because I'm doing such a good job of doing a science talk. I'm sure that she won't be able to do anything better than me. One thing you do learn in this business is you just keep talking until you pressed enough buttons. Now, everybody out there, please, I actually want everybody to cross their fingers. And that includes you, Dr. Jo. Can you cross your fingers, please? Because I want to press a button here and fingers crossed, you might appear on the... There we go. It works. Oops, you're in front of me. I don't like you being in front of me. Hang on, that's not very cool. Oh, there we go. That's me in front of you. Now, the million-dollar question is, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm only joking. I'm winding you up. Of course I can hear you. I'm only joking, Jo. Dr. Jo, do you know how I know your name? It's on your T-shirt, isn't it? Yeah, I can read. Reading's quite a handy skill at times like this. Dr. Jo, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but thank you so much for joining us today on hashtag Fun Day Friday 21. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art and maths, whatever. I don't really care, to be honest. It's all about creativity and inspiration and children being inspired to learn. What you're a scientist, are you?
I am a scientist, yes.
And how long did you want to be a scientist? What was that moment in your life that made you suddenly want to be a scientist?
I have always been interested in science. I don't know that I knew it was science really, though. I'm just really curious about the things around us in the natural world, and I'm really nosy. I like to know how things work and finding things out. So yeah, that's
fantastic.
I think I've always known.
And you've managed to make a living from it as well, I suppose, have you? Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully scraping one by a little bit.
I was going to say it's easier said than done at the moment, isn't it? But thank you so much for being here. I'll be honest with you, I haven't had my lunch. I only had one bowl of cereal for breakfast, and that's still a half hadn't eaten because it's been a bit of a rush. And there's something a bit gory behind you. I'm sorry, I have to go and have a glass of water because you've made me feel a bit sick. I'm not being funny. Can I leave you with the children for about half an hour? Is that all right?
You do that, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, miss. Oh, where's my bucket gone? Oh.
Nick hasn't gone too far, actually, because he's going to be helping me show some of the things that we're going to be doing today. Because
I'm here, don't worry.
Excellent. I'd like you to join in with me. So if you can share the slides I sent you, Nick, if that's possible at all, just because there's a bit of a kit list on there to start with of things that you might need to join in with some of our arty science this afternoon. You're going to need some paper, doesn't matter what colour at all, a little bit of kitchen roll, or some kind of fluffy paper, if you've got anything like that, or a bit of coffee filter, some scissors, some felt tip pens, and a cup or a bowl of water. And then we can get going on doing some really exciting and interesting science experiments that are also very arty and crafty.
Just 1 second, Miss. Sorry, hang on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
While Nick's fiddling around trying to make everything work in the background, you could rush off and see if you can find some paper and some kitchen roll, some scissors and some pens. And the first thing that we're going to need to do is cut a little strip from our kitchen paper. So I'm going to fold it in half like that and then cut a rectangle. So we need to make sure that we've got those math skills of knowing what those shapes are. And an irregular rectangle like that. And then actually I'm going to cut that piece in half where I folded it. And we're going to use one of them for our first investigation and one of them for our second one. So pop one to one side for a moment for me. And we're going to use this to do a science investigation that's called chromatography. Now, that's a very long word, but it just basically means splitting things apart, and particularly colours, actually. Now, chromatography is something that's used by scientists to split apart different substances so that we can find out what's in a sample. So, for example, in a crime scene, they might find an unknown substance and be able to analyse it using chromatography by splitting it into its component parts and working out what it is. And we can do that because in this paper, if you give it a feel, there are gaps in this paper. Little tiny air gaps between the fibres of paper. And what happens is different sized molecules can move through those gaps at different speeds. Now, little tiny small ones can move really, really quickly, and so they nip up to the top of the paper very fast. But bigger, the things that everything is made of, get stuck and they can't work their way through those gaps in the paper. And so they move more slowly through it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use some colour. So I've got some felt tip pens here. Now, they might look like a blue, green and a dark green, a dark blue pen, but actually colours are made up of more than one colour. Now, we know that green is, would help if I held up a green pen, wouldn't it? We know that green is a secondary colour. If you mix blue and yellow together, you can get green. But we can't usually unmix colours, certainly not in felt tip pens. So let's have a look, see if we can work out the different colours that come from these pens. Now, it doesn't matter what colour pens you've got. In fact, if you've got a black or a brown or a grey, the colours that aren't normally very exciting, they actually are going to yield more exciting results. So all we're going to do on this is about a finger width up from the bottom, or possibly even two. You're going to draw a dot, and I'm just going to try and show you here. I did have some pictures to show you, but this might be the easier way to do it. So a dot of that colour, and then I'm going to do one of the green as well. Oh, and I've smudged a bit. That's not going to work very well, is it? I'm going to put a bit of green on there. That one's not very big. Let's make that dot a bit bigger. Now, you will be doing this laying on a table so that you can lean on something. And then I'm going to get my final colour and pop a dot of that at the end as well. So I've got now 3 dots near the bottom, but not right at the bottom of my piece of paper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a small cup. Now I've got a beaker because it's a very scientific thing, a beaker, but actually it's just like a cup, isn't it? So I'm going to get my cup, my beaker, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to that. So I've got some water in the bottom of my beaker here. And all I'm going to do is just pop the paper inside. Now, I want the very bottom of the paper to touch the water, and I don't want the dots to go in at all. So what's going to happen then, because this kitchen paper is very absorbent, so it's going to suck up, it's going to absorb all of that water, it starts to move up the paper. And as it moves up the paper, it's going to dissolve the pen. It's going to put the pen into the solution of the water, and it's going to continue rising up that piece of paper. Now, I had a video to show you how this would happen really, really quickly so that you would see it happening fast.
So I'm just about to get that ready for you, actually. If you
fabulous. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Nick.
just
do
a
appreciate
tick.
it.
So what I'm going to do is find
You
that.
can watch
Where
it
is
happening as well.
Oh, why can't I see it? Hang on a second. It's there somewhere. I've got so many. Just close that and run it again. Come on.
It's started to reach the point where the ink is in my paper. It's starting to move up. It will be starting to put the ink, the pen, into the solution and drag that with it as well. Just wondering if I turn it around, if you can see it a bit more easily, actually. You can see the layer of the paper that's got wet, and it's dragging that up the paper, and it's moving through those tiny gaps and holes. And it's doing that through something called capillary action. Now, capillaries are just very, very tiny tubes. In fact, we've got capillaries inside our bodies, in our blood, at the very ends of very tiny, tiny blood vessels. But capillary just means a small, thin tube. So, in fact, a drinking straw is a type of capillary. And the way that water moves up it, well, we suck on it to bring the liquid up the straw. But it also can move up through capillary action, something that's really, really small. So it moves through the gaps, and that happens because the molecules of the liquid stick to each other, but they also stick to the sides of the tube as well through something called surface tension. So what's happening here, you can see it moving up, and you can see the level going to, and I'm hoping that it's going to take the bits of the ink with it and draw those up through the paper, because what you'll see if you're following along with this at home or at school is that the different molecules, the different particles in the colour will move at different rates. So the very, very small ones will move quickly along with the water being sucked up the piece of paper. And the ones that are a bit bigger are going to get stuck in those tiny tubes and not move through quite as quickly. So what we'll get is a separation of those smaller molecules near the top and the bigger ones at the bottom. And the colour will stretch out, and we'll get different colours through those different parts of the thing. What we might do is just leave that one to one side for a moment to suck up, and we'll get started on the second experiment, which is also using capillary action, so that movement of water through the gaps and through the gaps in our kitchen paper here, so our absorbent kitchen roll. And we're going to use pens again on this one, but this time what I'd like you to do is to decorate this piece of paper however you like with your felt tip pens. You could do dots, you could do stripes, you could do anything, but try and put as much colour on it as you possibly can. Oh, fabulous. I think you can now possibly see my video on my screen. Even.
Something really weird is happening here. I don't know if it's because it was a Mac video. It's really weird the way the PowerPoints work, but don't worry. It's not, so we've got you up like that. Okay. So obviously you skipped ahead, and I'm sorry about that. We got a little bit lost there. So where do you want me to go in this deck?
Could you click through to the bit where we've got the chromatography happening, and we'll see that a bit closer up, which I think is probably slide 4. This one. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And we'll go from here so that you can see, because this is a kind of a speeded up version of what we were doing there. So I'm pouring a little bit of water into my glass. So this time not using that science beaker. You can use anything you like. And so that I know that I'm above the level of the water, you could draw a line using a ruler across the bottom to make sure that you don't put those dots of colour above that part. So you can see there that that's going to be above the level of the water. And then I'm going to get my coloured pens and put those dots of colour. Now this time I've got 3 different types of pens. So there's one of my school colouring pens there. You can see up on the line, I know that it's not going to be below the level of the water. Let's put a red dot on there as well. And you can see that one. And I'm going to try one more different type of pen too. We'll look at the difference, not only in the colours, but in the different types of pen too. So I've got those 3 dots, and I'm going to just pop that, stick it onto a straw. Oh, it's disappeared again. Oh, it's come back. It's all right. So that I can suspend it, because sometimes when you put them in a cup like this, they tend to fall over sometimes. So this one, I'm going to pop it in there, and you can see it start. And this one works really, really quickly. You can see. So that actually is filter paper, but it works in the same way as your kitchen paper here. And you can see the colours starting to move up with the water now. And you'll see as they keep going, keep an eye on that blue one in particular. So that's this pen here. So just like the ones that you often have at school, colouring in pen. It's light blue, but keep watching that and see what colour that turns into. And look at that red one that I put in the middle as well. You can already start to see at the bottom there, it's sort of looking a bit more bright and orange. And the bit at the top is looking a bit more burgundy. It's getting a darker red. So we can tell already that those different colours are actually different sized molecules. So when we're doing our art, thinking about the different colours that we might be putting into things, we can also think about what those colours are made up of and those different science molecules that they're made up of. You can see the purple one there as well. It's gone very, very bright pink near the top and is much sort of a darker, almost a grey purple right down at the bottom. So we can see the different colours starting to come out from there. Fantastic. So if we go move back again to our second activity, which is going to involve decorating your piece of paper. Now I'm going to put stripes of colour on mine. Nick, if you could, oh, we're starting again. It does that sometimes. If you could click over to, yes, we're going to make some capillary caterpillars. So we're going to make a caterpillar shape by rolling a piece of kitchen roll around a pen. So we have a look what's going on, please, Nick. And I did say, actually, I was going to hold up a different object, didn't I, every time I was going to ask you to do that. So here's some hand gel. We've all got that to hand at the moment, haven't we? So fabulous, fantastic. I'm going to draw some stripes on mine, but you decorate your piece of kitchen roll however you like. And if you could play that one, thank you, Nick. Something very strange is happening to the pen. It's looking very black and striped.
It's because it's got a chroma key on it, probably. Let's have a look.
Yes, very odd.
No, it's got chroma key on it.
Fun.
We turn it off.
So I'm, oh, look at that. Cutting a rectangle of kitchen roll again. And I'm going to draw stripes on mine. Now I've got these really, really bright pens here, but you can just use the normal ones that we used before, whatever felt tip pens you've got. Just make sure that they are water soluble. So I like stripes, so I'm going to put stripes on mine. And I think, because I'm trying to make a pretend caterpillar kind of shape, I think caterpillars often look a bit stripy, but not usually pink, yellow and blue. I'm not sure they would be very well camouflaged, which is usually what caterpillars are. Either to camouflage so you can't see them, or to stand out and look really scary, saying, please don't eat me, I'm poisonous. So this is going to be my caterpillar. I'm hoping that you've decorated yours as well. You might have chosen stripes or spots or something else. And then I'm going to roll it around a pen just to get a shape of it. And then caterpillars are not really long like that. They tend to be a bit bunched up, don't they? So what I'm going to do is bunch up the paper kind of into a concertina shape. So it pushes up into itself and it makes it much shorter. It's all squished up. And then I'm going to slide it off there. And there's my caterpillar. It's very colourful. It's a bit concertinaed. And this is not really how caterpillars actually move. But we can use this capillary action that we were talking about with water to show what happens to the paper when the water gets into the gaps in between. Now I've got a pipette here, but actually you can use a straw to do this. You pop your straw in your cup of water and put your finger over the top of it once it's in there. What happens is you will draw up a little bit of water at the bottom. And if I let go of the finger at the top, hopefully you can see the water drips out of the bottom. So that's going to work exactly. Oh, and then in doing that, I've missed the caterpillar expanding because that water got in between those the gaps in the paper, those tiny capillaries, and it made the paper expand out and it pushed the caterpillar into a big shape. So hopefully you can have a go at doing one of those as well. Now, I've got lots of investigations and experiments to show you that are sciencey and arty today. So could we move on to the next one, and I will show you a curly whirly. Very tasty. Oh, it's gone back to the video again. I'm so sorry. Excellent. Now we can use that same action, and this is one I'm going to suggest that you have a go at later on, but I'll show you it now. That same action of capillary action, of things moving and absorbing up the paper, to show you how we can make water move from one cup into another. And to do this, it's a bit more dramatic if you use food colouring. So what else can I hold up? I can hold up a little mini figure of the scientist in a white coat. For the next slide, please. Fabulous. So I have got a beaker of blue water here and a beaker of red coloured water. And I've speeded up this video so you can see that the coloured water sucks up the bits of tissue paper of kitchen roll and then drips into the cup in between. And when we're mixing blue and red together, what colour do you think we're going to get? Now it's quite dark, this, isn't it? So it's difficult to see. But red and blue together make a kind of purple colour. So we're getting a purple colour in that one in the middle. Now I wouldn't try and set that up now, but that's one to maybe have a go at later on to explore capillary action a bit more. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Here's my toothbrush. And we are going to have a go using capillary action again to explore something else. And we're going to be thinking about flowers. So I would like you to get a piece of paper. It doesn't matter whether it's a piece of newspaper or actually even a piece of kitchen roll would work, or a piece of coloured paper or white paper or any sort of paper you've got, and cut a kind of cartoon flower shape out of it. I will hold up a density jar of different liquids with different objects floating or sinking at different levels to indicate, please could we move to the next one, thank you. While I cut out a flower shape. So I've got some flowers there. If you cut out the shape of a flower, and then while I'm doing that, I'll show you what happens. So I've got my flower petals here, and I'm just going to fold those petals over and folding them in on top of one on the other. And this is how real petals of flowers like daisies that close up at night and then open up the next day will open up. So this is a bowl of water. I'm just going to rest my paper flower folded up on top, and wow, look at that. Did you see what happened? Super quick. The water got in between the gaps in the paper, inside those tiny little capillaries, and it expanded the paper and made it open out. And that's exactly what happens to those flowers like daisies that fold up at night. They have little, depending on the amount of fluid inside them, they open or they close. So if you cut out a shape of a flower, fold the petals up, you can see how it does that by popping it on a bowl of water. And you could try lots of different types of paper and compare them. So the faster it opens, do you think there are going to be more capillaries in that paper or fewer capillaries? Maybe you could predict. You could try different types of paper. Maybe you could try using kitchen roll or newspaper or tissue paper or sugar paper that you get at school, that kind of coloured paper, or a shiny paper that you might use in a printer, and have a look and see what the difference is. What else can I hold up for the next one? I'm going to hold up a really tiny, small electrical motor. There's the next slide, please. Thank you, Nick. We're going to have a go at cutting some other shapes out of paper now. So you could try to cut a flower shape again, or you could make a tree or a pumpkin or a witch or a reindeer. Let's think of something topical for this time of to use those shapes to explore shadows. You can cut a shape out. I'm going to cut out, well, I'm going to have a go at a daffodil. Going to look like. And we're going to make some shadows with that shape. So in fact, I'm going to cheat slightly because I've cut out the shape of a daffodil bud that hasn't quite opened up yet. So there's going to be my daffodil shape, but I'm sure you can come up with an even better one. And meanwhile, since there's a Christmas tree on there, here is the mini pie tin from a mince pie for the next slide, please. I'm going to run out of things to hold up in a minute. So I'm going to cut out some shapes. Yes, please, playing this to make some shadows. So you're going to need a torch for this bit as well. Now, if you don't have an actual torch, you could use a light that you've got in your room, or maybe the sun's shining really brightly where you are. It's disappeared a bit now here. Or you could use the light, the torch from a mobile phone. So I'm going to cut out, I think maybe a bird or a bat. It doesn't really matter what shape I do. I'll just show you some things while you're having a go and cutting out a shape. I'm pretty sure you can do a better daffodil shape than I have here. That doesn't really look very much like a bird, does it? Let me see what I can do to that. Maybe I'll turn it into a bat, actually. Let's have a look. Got the kind of shaped wings at the bottom. And depending on how close or far away you have got, there's my bat shape, the torch from your object, you're going to make a bigger or a smaller shadow behind it. So here's my bat shape here. It's not very good, quite right. I'm going to stick it onto a pencil so that I can use it to be a little puppet moving about. So while you're cutting yours out and finding a torch or a light or something, just stick that on there. Make sure it doesn't fall off. You could, of course, just hold on to it. You don't necessarily need to stick it on a stick. And then I'm going to get a torch and shine it against this screen here so that you can see my shadow. Hoping you can, there we are, if I hold it up there, you can see the outline of my bird or my bat. I'm sure you can be much more creative than I am. Flying along with the shadow. So you can make the shape of the shadow, but also if you move it further away from or closer to the light, you're going to change the size of the shadow. Maybe you could investigate how big you can make your shadow or how small you can make your shadow, depending on whether it's closer to or further away from your light source. And then I think I've got another video just coming up next of a different shape of shadow puppet, just to give you some other ideas. Thank you. So I've got some different coloured paper this time. But because we're making shadows, it doesn't matter whether it's coloured or whether it's just black and white, is it? And I'm going to cut a tree shape out of this one and see what I can do there. A little snip here, here. So I'm going to need a trunk. I'm thinking about the parts of my tree. A trunk, and then I'm going to make a Christmas tree type tree. So I'm going to make some zigzag cuts here. So I need to make some triangles. It's going to get smaller towards the top. Thinking about the shape of that tree. There's one side there. There's my Christmas tree. The very pointy top part. If I was getting very adventurous, I could put a star on the top, but we don't want too much detail when we're looking at shadow puppets. We just want the outline. We're not looking for lots of detail on the inside. We just need to have a rough outline of what's happening. So here's my tree, and you can already see, actually, because of the lights I've got going on, the shadows starting to form. Because I've got two lights, you can see two shadows, and then they start to overlap as well. Where they overlap, we get a darker shadow. I wonder if you can think about why that is. So there's my Christmas tree. Let's move these bits of paper out of the way. And let's see what shadows we can create with my Christmas tree. Have a look at those two shadows and what happens if they meet. And you can see they get darker where they overlap. And lighter when they move away and move at a different angle. So you can explore and have an experiment with different shadow puppets. Can you make them bigger and smaller? Can you get two light sources and overlap your shadows and make a darker pattern? Running out of things to hold up, I've got a ruler, colourful ruler. Can I have the next slide? Thank you. And now we're going to be thinking about, now my balloon's falling on the floor here, we're going to be thinking about things that we can do with balloons as well. So for this bit, you're going to need either some really thin paper, so you could use your kitchen paper again, or a bit of tissue, maybe a bit of toilet roll, even clean sheets. Obviously, we don't want a dirty one, especially because Nick's not had any lunch and he's feeling very hungry. And we're going to cut out a shape. Again, it doesn't matter what shape you cut out. I've got some kind of ghosty shapes because I think they look quite cool when they start to float about. And you're going to need a balloon. I've got a green balloon here, and you need to blow it up. Maybe ask some help if you can't blow it up yourself. And we're going to employ static electricity to help us with this next experiment. So if we could have the next slide, I think there's a video to show you a little bit of what we're doing here. So I've got my balloon, a bit of tissue paper and some tin foil, and I'm going to cut out a ghosty shape out of this. I've got just a bit of tissue and I've split the layers of it apart to make it really, really thin. I'm going to do a real cartoon ghost. So it doesn't matter how rough the edges are, because if you think about a sort of a floaty cartoon ghost shape, it's just going to be a bit floppy around the edges. So a very basic ghosty shape. And I'm going to cut a bit at the bottom, a bit like if you wear a sheet as a ghost costume. You can make the edges kind of a bit raggedy like this at the bottom. And then it can just stay like this as a ghost, but I might actually add a little friendly ghosty face as well to make it look a little bit more interesting. And we can also do one out of tin foil to see if we can make tin foil work as well. Now, it's a little bit easier with the tin foil, the cutting, and do be careful because the edges might be sharp. If you draw a shape, a rough ghosty shape or whatever shape it is that you're doing first, and then cut round it. So I've drawn a ghosty shape there, you can see on my tin foil, and I'm just going to cut out around the outside of that. And while I'm doing that, let's think about how static electricity works. Now, static electricity is a build-up of charge. Now, everything I said before is made of molecules, and those molecules have a charge. They have a positive charge and a negative charge. And around the outside of the molecules are things called electrons, and those are negatively charged. Now, what happens when you rub a balloon on your sleeve or on your hair, and let's see if I can make my hair, there we are, you can see it's sticking to my hair, and that's because there's a static charge. When I rub it, it transfers electrons from my arm to the balloon. So there are extra electrons, extra negatively charged particles on the balloon. And so when it comes up against another object, it's attracted to it because the other object is not so negatively charged. And positives and negatives attract each other. And you can see I'm attracting my hair to that. Now, if I had two balloons and I rubbed them and then put them together, what you would see is actually they would start to bounce apart because they would both be negatively charged. And they would push each other apart, a bit like if you put the same sides, the same poles of a magnet together, they push apart. If you've got two negatively charged items, they're going to push each other apart. So let's rub the balloon there and then see what happens. I can pick up my ghost. It's falling upside down. Oh, and I've completely picked up the tinfoil one. Let's see if I can pick those up again. So see how heavy you can make the piece of paper before it won't pick up anymore as well. So let's just give it a bit more of a rub and get that charge back. Picked up my tinfoil ghost. Is sticking really, really well, isn't he? Let's pop him down there and see if I can get my little ghost there. So have a go and explore some static electricity with your balloon. Rub it on my hand there, and then there we are. I can pick up my balloon and they start to jump and dance about. Now, if you stick one end of your ghost down onto a piece of paper, as you pick it up, they actually kind of stand up and wobble where they are rather than being picked up completely by the balloon. So that's just another example of something we can do just with a bit of paper, exploring some science. Now, Nick, I have got more experiments to show, but I'm also conscious of time. So do just let me know whether you would like me to carry on or stop or whatever you'd like.
To be honest, I mean, it's been fantastic. Really, really, really good. Really enjoyed that. Well, I've lost you now. Where have I put you? Let's get you back. Put you there. No, it's fantastic. Lots of things that people can try at home there, Dr. Joe, isn't there, really? Which has been really, really super. I think we probably do need to move on. I think the thing to do is if you can, when you're finished, if you go into the YouTube comments and maybe type a little URL that people can go to and find your stuff,
Absolutely.
That would be super. And I think the message today really is that you know, just because you're not in school, it doesn't mean to say you don't learn, or you obviously schools are sending work home and young people are getting homework and lessons, but all you young people, boys and girls, you have to take responsibility for your learning. People like Dr. Joe, YouTube is full of videos of cool stuff, your Fortnites, your Minecrafts. It's also full of cool stuff like from Dr. Joe, things that if you look at it one day, somebody will think you're interested or interesting, and they might give you a job because you didn't just play computer games all the time. You played a bit, you got some ideas. And it's about a little bit of everything. My dad used to say moderation. I mean, Dr. Joe, what would your advice be to anybody who wants to be a scientist like you? It's fantastic to see you here today.
Well, do you know, I mean, absolutely. Just do things that you're interested in, definitely. And science everywhere. Even if you don't want to be a scientist, there is science in pretty much every job and every industry, actually. So just being curious. And there's lots of skills in science, like investigating things and having a go, and being resilient when things don't go quite to plan, are useful skills across everything. So not just in science.
I mean, answer this question. What's the point of scientists? What do they do in a sort of in a long sentence?
Ooh, what do scientists do? So they work out how things work. They discover new things and help people ultimately, whether that's by designing the chip in your latest mobile phone, or working out how your body works and what happens when it goes wrong when you're not very well, and how they can fix you with medicine. Science is everywhere and in everything.
Well, I think you've been a great advert for science, and I hate to say it, I think the current crisis has been a great advert for science, because we've needed scientists to come up with vaccines. We've needed scientists to keep trying, to make mistakes, to learn as we are today, and we're not afraid of making a point of that. And we all need to connect. And I think it's been lovely to connect with you, because we say that art is what we call it when what we do connects us with somebody else, Miss. And I believe that that's very much what you've done. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have fun, everyone.
Thank you so much. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we've got a bit of JC Got Talent buzz going on in the back. I think everybody's getting quite excited. That's great. Keep those microphones muted. I'm actually going to press a button here, and something rather special is going to happen. Actually, do you know what? I think I'm actually going to play a little video. What video should we? Let's have our disco ball tree video, shall we, first of all, quickly. And we'll be back after a 60-second break with Parklands Primary.
People finding a place to feel they belonged, or wanted to escape to. I do like the notion of a disco ball. You just have to put one light on it and it refracts light everywhere, and you know, just kind of makes everything look pretty and in motion. And yeah, so it's kind of finding yourself through the darkness or through the struggle. So I think that's one of the reasons that disco has resonated so well this year.
It's been one of the good things to come out of this year. We have reconnected and rediscovered and remembered how important community is.
Absolutely. Well, I would absolutely second that. Here we are. It's hashtag. Let's get the hashtag Fun Day Friday up. There's a lot of people out there getting very excited about JC Got Talent. That's going to be coming in about 5-10 minutes. We're going to Leeds for 10 minutes. Somebody says here, JC has got talent on at 2:15 with slightly delay. We've got lots of comments here. Somebody's sending out a virtual hug, Bhavdeep Batar. Now, I don't know if you know where I am here. Somebody else is waiting for the JC Talent Show. Well, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about talent, we're going to go to a very special place now. In fact, I am in that very, very special place. And if Mr. Dyson, have you got your link as well, Mr. Dyson? Let's see if we can. Where's your phone, sir?
Amy Nelson PK. You want me to be on mine as well?
Yeah, get both phones out, because believe it or not, I am actually on stage at Parklands Primary. Oh, you got me on the big screen there, have you?
We have indeed, but there's a bit of a time delay.
A little bit of a time delay, well, there will be, yeah, probably on YouTube. But here I am at Parklands Primary, and you're on the screen over there, and Mr. Dyson's phone is on the screen over there. Mr. Dyson, can you get your phone going? Let's get you up.
Yes.
I'm in your hall. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that Miss Nolan in the background? Did I hear the dulcet tones of?
I'm behind the camera.
Hello, Miss Nolan. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Dyson, can you turn your phone sideways, sir?
How did you turn your camera? Good way.
So here we are at Parklands Primary. We've got Mr. Dyson over here on the left. There's Miss Nolan. Sounds like he's getting a lesson in using his phone.
Yeah. You're doing that. This way. Bam, bam, bam. Film girl. Are we live, Nick?
You're live, sir. Go for it.
So I can't wait for the Joseph Cash School's brilliant Got Talent show. Causing a huge laugh at the moment because we've got a time delay. So we're going to showcase our lovely disco ball.
Oh, wow.
So, so we're just going to have a quick game of time still, okay? I'll just have our little bubbles before everyone comes back on March the 8th, and we can't wait and things. So for our lovely tight table championship, we've just got 8 lovely volunteers to showcase what we can do. So let me involve
all of these.
Give them a wave on the camera. Give us a wave. So, we've got something. Pick someone. You're going to the people playing. Marcus, pick me 2 children. Who's playing down? Come on. He's live. Is he a junior? Are we ready? Stand up. Don't bring yourself on these candles. Here we go. Good luck. 9 times 9. There you are.
Well done.
Looking for that. Here. You made the 7. Maybe 2 more.
Come on.
Emmanuel, stand up. Charlie, good luck, guys. Literally doing this live and your big assembly when everyone's backing together in the next few months of this. So, good luck. Let's go for 6 times 6. 6 times 3. 8. Great team, on. Look, Charlie, good effort. Good effort. Listen. Stevie and Harley. Good luck, guys. Let's start. 12 times 3. Ooh, well done, Harley. Harley's just come out of hospital. Oh, I said, Harley's just come out of hospital. Who's got the example 2 left? Let's stand up. Speak yourself round, although we've got cameras everywhere.
Oh, we lost the audio.
6 times 6. Right, Stevie, you're doing it for the girl. Okay, right. Here we go. Stevie, you draw. Here we go. Good luck.
Okay, get ready.
Next up. 7 times 9. 63. It's okay, Junior. I'm looking over being before you move through. Go ahead.
Oh dear, we've lost the audio there. Oh no. I'm sorry about this, folks. We've looks like the Wi-Fi's let us down a bit.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going.
Oh, I can hear you now, Chris. Keep going. Yeah, we're back on.
Sure, go on. Good old thing said. So here we go. 2 questions. First question is 6 times 7. 42. 6 times 9.
Wow.
3 times 12. 4 times 9. Just took it, Stevie. Stevie for the girls. Give it
Fantastic.
Brilliant. The science show, brilliant. Fantastic job, Nick. We love you guys. Let's give a big woo, Nick.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you all again very soon.
You guys.
Fantastic. Lovely to see that. Lovely to see that mirror ball going there. You back on your phone, sir? He's gone. Well, there we were. There we are from Parklands Primary. Fantastic. And let's cut back to Coventry and let's go to Cash Has Got Talent straight after this little break. And why can't we hear it? Why can't we hear it? Oh dear, what is going on? Have I played the wrong one? Let's try this one.
Hello, Joseph Cash Primary School. I hear them on your wall of fame. Things that make Coventry famous. Well, I thank you for that. That's brilliant. I grew up not far from where you go to school, and I went to school not far from where you are. You see, anything can be achieved if you try hard enough. These are difficult times, and I know it's hard, but stick in there. Maybe you'll get your own wall of fame. And thank you, Joseph Cash Primary School.
Lovely message there from Pete Waltman, who's a resident of, well, one time resident, grew up, born and bred in Coventry. The UK City of Culture this year, kicking off in May, June time. So it's going to be fantastic. And we're going to be going back to Joseph Cash in just a few minutes to get a taste of the wonderful school, the talent there in Cash Has Got Talent. So that's something very much for us all to look forward to, as I'm sure you'll agree. And that doesn't want to play audio, does it? That's a bit nice. Let's just get rid of that one. Let's find one that does. Let's see if... We'll be with you in just a minute. Everybody stand by. Is everybody waiting to come into the Zoom room? Oh, blimey. Let's have a look. Let's find... All right, yeah, you take that down. Darryl, where do you want the cardboard? Okay, mate, take that then. We're flat out here at Joseph Cash Primary School up in Coventry. We've got to take this whole Tracy Island down because Darryl Wakelam has built us a cardboard cathedral that we've got to build here on the playing field for our hashtag Coventry weekend. Hashtag Fun Day Friday 21. We've got a whole day of activities. Prince of Wales School in Dorchester, we're doing a live link to a rhinoceros in Wales that you're going to be able to learn how to draw. We've got a whole load of stuff that's been curated by Jude Orson, who co-wrote Rise Up, which is Stormzy's blog, and we've got DJs and MCs late into the night. Saturday is our hashtag Art of Community 21 Day, which has been co-curated by the amazing Sandra Godley. Darryl Wakelam is going to show us how to turn the cathedral tower here into a rocket that we can launch Saturday night, and Tyron Cardboardians live linking in from Russia to show us how to build our own cardboard parade. And we're delighted that the Art and Culture Minister, Caroline Dinage, is going to join us on Saturday to say a few words as well. Saturday night, we've got DJs, we've got discos, because we're going to be dancing under the world's second biggest mirror disco ball. Rob the Bank's got the first one, you wouldn't let us borrow it. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Chris Sullivan's going to be doing his fire pit chats. Friday night with Rankin Jr., who is the son of Rankin Roger of the Beat. Saturday, it's Neville Staples, one of the first members of the Specials with his partner, Christine, and Basie from the Selector. This city is going to show the country how it can rise from the ashes again and take us with it. we've had enough of all this talk about whether our kids are going to keep up or not. The challenge is us keeping up with them. And Sunday is the hashtag EvolvedEd21 co-conference, co-curated with this legend, Professor Stephen Heppel. We've got amazing tech. That means if you want to perform, if you want to read, you want to sing, you want to play, you want to perform, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you can video call in on a green screen and we can put you on our stage. So download the brochure, hashtag Coventry21, a 3-day community art festival for all our kids and all our futures. Be a part of it. Wow. Well, we are just about ready for the highlights of the day. We've got lots of super people lined up here. I can see a celebrity, actually. We've got a very famous person here who's going to be observing what goes on. I'm going to have one more go at building this studio. So everybody, we're making this up as we go along. As we all know, and we've done to death, we've got a little bit of time here because I know that home time is probably not too critical. So here I am with my granddad glasses. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build a virtual set, and I want to show you how we do this so we can do it. We do it with one step as we go and just see how we go. And I want to get this working. If we don't succeed, we try again. So I'm going to add an input, and that input is going to be a virtual set. Now, when you get to my age, you have to talk as you think. So the first thing I've got there is a virtual stage, and you're going to see that. So there's my virtual stage. That's just looking like lots of little grey squares, because that means it's nothing. That's how computer graphics systems tell the world that they're nothing. And what I need to do is I need to add into the back of there a background image. Now, the background image I'm going to have is a lovely, lovely one, which I think, oh, that's no good. That's just a bit of cardboard box, isn't it? That's no good. Don't want that one. Let's have a look at that. No, that's got cardboard over the pictures. Now we've got lovely photos. Now Miss Nelson, your head teacher, said I can use some of your pictures. So I'm going to see if I can find the one that's got those actual pictures, which is just after a Skype. Okay, so let's have another go. God blimey, let's have a look. It's not that one. Why can't we find it? Oh, it's got a number. Let's find the right number. Oh, it's number 4. Oh, blimey, it's a big number. I've got so much rubbish kicking around in here. So there we go. So there is our stage set with lots of lovely graphics that have been approved by your senior leadership team. And now I need to add myself in. So I'm going to add myself in layer 7. So I choose that, and I am number 48. Okay, I've just learned that these have numbers, and I've been trying to work out. So there's me. Oh, there I am. Now I'm a little bit big there. That's no good. So what we'll do is we'll change the size of me here. Oops, that's not good. Don't do it that way. We want to change number 7. So number 7 isn't changing. Why isn't that changing? Have I gone horribly wrong again? Has it all gone horribly wrong? Let's have a look. Position number 7. Oh, dear me. Is that it? That's changing everything. Hang on, just bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, there's so many levels here. It's going to work, but it's not what I wanted to happen. But there we go. So I can put myself on the table there like that. So I'm sitting behind that little table. So that's my desk. That's where I'm going to sit, make myself a little bit smaller. And now I want to bring up the PowerPoint slide, which we're going to do down here as number 5. So let's get number 5 and make that into... So, Miss Nelson, can you hear me at the moment?
Yep, I can hear you. I'm here.
So why don't you give us a little bit of chat about Cash Has Got Talent while I get all this nonsense working. We'll get you up here.
Okay, so Joseph Cash Has Got Talent is a
tradition, a historic tradition at Joseph Cash. We've done it for many, many years. It normally takes place in the summer term, and there's a few different rounds. When then we, in the third round is the kind of the final that we perform to the whole school on an afternoon in the summer term, and it's a really fabulous celebration when the whole school comes together. Children can bring any talent they want. There is no stipulation about what it has to be. It can be absolutely anything. Now, obviously, we couldn't do it in the summer term as we were in lockdown and bubbles and different things. So when we spoke, didn't we, Nick, about what we could do this week, I thought the best way to celebrate What Is Your Art is to have a celebration of Joseph Cash Has Got Talent. So just before the half-term holidays, I set everyone a challenge. Now, I always do a weekly challenge with all our children in assembly, and it's normally something based around art. They have to make many different things. I literally just give a word or a few words, and then it's up to the children and their families what they do, and we base the challenges around our school values. So it's about working together, trying new things. The other week we had like a bicycle, so we had loads of different types of bikes made out of all different media, and so obviously this challenge for over the half-term holidays was to share your talent, and then different families have been sending in their talents over the last couple of weeks, which I have brought together for you to watch today. I can see Miss Burnside's popped her camera on as well. Miss Burnside leads the Joseph Cash Has Got Talent organisation normally in the summer term, and I know you were gutted when we couldn't do it this year, weren't you, Mrs. Burnside?
Yeah, I was really, really upset because I think it's the highlight of the year for the children, and it's great to see different groups of children getting together to perform a dance or produce a song and singing, and it's nice to see some of those hidden talents, some of those children that you don't know that they're really good at playing the piano or can play the violin or have a really good singing voice. So it's a great opportunity for the children to be a star today.
And what we normally do, Nick, is so then after we've watched the talent show, everyone goes back to their classrooms and the children vote on who the winner is. It's not down to the teachers. It's not a separate panel. The children vote. However, what I thought today would be really special, Nick, is if you wanted to choose who our winners are of the talent competition.
Gosh, no pressure, miss.
I know. You can have 3, a first, second and third place.
I'm amazed you're prepared to trust me after the complete and utter incompetence of what we've been doing here today.
Well, I'm hoping after what's been a really stressful day for you, and I just say you've done a brilliant job juggling everything. We're all sitting here just watching, and you are doing an amazing job. So, well done to you. So hopefully the video is going to work and you can actually just take 12 minutes to sit back and enjoy watching the fabulous children that we have at Joseph Cash do what they love.
Wonderful. Bear with me a second. Is that the one we had yesterday? Yeah. Did you adjust the audio?
Yeah. So it's all turned up as full as it goes. The only other option I was thinking, I could always share my screen.
No. That may or may not work. I've had some bad experiences in the past of that. Hang on. It's the one you sent me the other day. Is there a latest one?
Which is the one? Yeah, I sent you the link earlier today. So
okay.
In the Dropbox file for you to download.
As you can imagine, I haven't been checking email terribly regularly. So hang on. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. You sent me an email for 1 o'clock and for 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the link is here. So let's have a quick look at that.
Yeah.
So I'd actually like to, while we're talking about talent, we've actually got a very, very, very special guest here. And I don't know if you can see, you can't because I've just turned that off. So let me turn that back on. In fact, I'll just go to you over there, full screen. In the top corner here, you'll see a gentleman called, it just says Stephen Heppell. That doesn't do him any justice at all, because that's actually Professor Stephen Heppell, who is one of the cleverest people in the whole wide world when it comes to education and creativity. And he's all gone embarrassed now because he's quite humble. Professor, would you maybe just talk for 2 or 3 minutes while I get the presentation ready and get that video for Miss? Could you do that for us, do you think? You're muted, sir. That's good. You're muted. You're still muted. Can I mute you? Let's have a look.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
There you go.
Oh, well, yeah, thanks. I've been enjoying watching the chaos. It's been good fun. So I don't know where to start really, but
you've got 200 boys and girls who are all ears, sir. So go for it. Boys, girls, mums and dads and teachers.
Perfect. Well, I've been a bit fed up actually watching people coming on television and talking about how our children are going to get left behind and they've fallen back and they need to catch up, and they, every time we turn the television on, somebody seems to be saying something a bit rude about our children. And I got a bit fed up with it, so I started looking at this in a bit of detail. And they're not the fallen behind generation, they are absolutely the golden generation. The boys and girls and students who are watching this are really, really special. And here's why. About every 75 years, education changes. In around about 1800, churches said you must come to church and read the Bible, And in 1870, 3/4 of a century later, employers said we must have children who can, measure things with rulers and keep accurate time. And so we had compulsory primary education. And then 75 years after that, terrible World War II, and families came out of the war thinking, you know what, education needs to change because a lot of our kids aren't getting a fair crack of the whip. So we had 1944 Education Act. Education became compulsory for secondary age kids.
Professor, what does compulsory mean? Hang on, that's a big word. Compulsory.
Means you got to do it.
Oh.
And they did a nice job. They thought education could be set by teachers. They thought teachers would design the exams, and children and communities, there would be a special Coventry exam, and people might be looking at the chemicals used to put the dyes in the stained glass in the new cathedral or whatever. And then something really interesting happened, and the interesting thing was that the kids who'd had a terrible time in the war, I mean, the children in Coventry was bombed terribly in the war. That's why we have a great big piece of land to build a cathedral on, because the bombs all fell. But children were evacuated. Everybody said, quick, get the children out to the countryside, get them away from the bombs. And the ones who stayed had to hide underground in bomber shelters. And in London, they had to go down onto the tube stations and hide. One of my students was a kid during the war. He was sent to Wales. He didn't see his mum and dad for 3 years. Had to look after his little baby sister. So they had a terrible time. But what came out of it were lots and lots of children who knew how to cope with things going a bit wrong. And they knew how to cope with thinking differently. And along came John Lennon, born in 1940, and the Beatles, who just transformed popular music. They were amazing. And along came Vivienne Westwood, who was born during the war and went on to do all the crazy clothes from punk music with all the giant safety pins and zips and goodness knows what. And along came Clive Sinclair, who invented the home computer. Everybody in Britain typing away on rubber keyboards, It turned out that generation who'd survived the war were the best we'd ever seen, because what they learned from not being in regular school was incredibly valuable. And really it rebuilt the whole country after the horrors of the war. And here we are 75 years later. And it's you guys. You're the ones who've had these fabulous experiences, and they haven't all been nice. Sometimes it's pretty boring sitting there trying to watch something you're supposed to be watching. But as a generation, you've become agile and resilient. You've been able to cope with, your teacher said, right, that didn't work very well, let's try this. You said, okay, miss, we'll have a go. A bit like Nick's doing this afternoon. And coping has become normal. And you know what? A lot of the older generation can't do that. That's one of the reasons why all these people on television are saying, you've got to get back to school, back to normal quick, because that's the only thing they understand. That's the schooling they had, was they did exactly the same thing every day for all their lives. So you absolutely are 75 years on from the John Lennons and the so many talented people. You're the next golden generation. It's you. And I'm pretty old. I won't see the one after this because that's going to be 75 years on from now. That'll be very nearly the turn of the century. So that's a long time. So I didn't just want to say that. We wanted to give you a certificate to say you are the golden generation. And it's a really nice certificate. And it's made up of all the things that children have reported doing online. It looks a bit like a Where's Wally book, you know. All the things that you've been doing at home and online and since lockdown's been on. And you can have it for free. We've set up a web page. Nobody tries to sell you anything. They won't remember your name or your email address. This is just free for you because you're flipping wonderful. And if you go to heppel.net, and I'll put the URL up on the screen here in a minute, so you can just see what it looks like. Here it is. So there's the certificate.
Wow!
If I duck down a bit,
that's
the
cool.
URL heppel.net golden. And if you just go there, I'll show it again in a second. If you just go there, Nick's popped up in the middle. If you just go there, you'll it's like Jack in the Box. I get down, he goes up. You know? It'll ask you three things. First of all, say what's your name, and you type your name in, and then it says what email would you like the certificate to be sent to. It'll be sent to you by a university, so it's all perfectly safe. And then it says, tell us some of the things you've been doing. And I've got a few here because although we've only just about got to the stage of launching this, we've got about 1,000 people who've done certificates already. And there's one here that says, you know, what have you been doing? She's been doing cake baking, really hard maths, and a lot of hugs. I like that. This one's been learning more about space, concentrating hard in my piano lessons, learning to get dressed on my own. Another one's been doing, well, so many different things. I was talking to a parent just the other day, and her son hasn't done any of the things he was supposed to do at school, but he's just replumbed their bathroom, redone all the pipes and the singing, he's done the whole thing, and now he's done it so well the neighbours have asked him to come and do theirs. So, no, he's 13, you know, so he's getting on a bit. But you go there and you put into it all the things you're proud of, you know, and it might be, you know, I've had a bit of a disaster. I built my robot, but it all went wrong. You know, that's still a great experience because the important thing here is you've done different things, and that's what's going to give you the ability to solve the problems that your parents won't be able to solve, and nor will the politicians. Problems of climate change, problems of water shortages, problems of food shortages, who knows, problems of pandemics, so many problems coming at us. The rest of your life is going to be full of problems that you'll say, hey, yeah, roll my sleeves up, I know what to do. I'm one of the golden generation. I'm a COVID kid. High five. So I'm proud of you. And I think you're the most special kids I've seen in my lifetime. And I can't wait to see what you do. But while we're waiting, go along to that URL. There it is one more time. heppel.net golden. It'll send you a PDF of your certificate with your name on, your things. You print it out. Prints out pretty good in A3 if you've got anybody with a big printer, or A4 if you can find somebody with a laminator. Woohoo! Laminated. My two granddaughters who live with me are 4 and 7. They've both got theirs framed on their bedroom walls. And every night now when they go to bed, they say, hey, we're the golden generation. It's us. And
well, that's brilliant, Professor. Well, Professor, that is a lovely, lovely thing to say. And so really, I just want to be very clear, understand what you said then, because it's all quite complicated and lots of big words, and I'm not very good with big words, but let's be quite clear. Well, where are you? Is he still there? He's up in the corner. There he is, over there. So Professor, so what you're saying is, it's a bit like 50 things to do before you leave Cash Primary, isn't it? That if you do lots of different things, you might find something you really enjoy that you could make some money out of, make friends, but also people will think you're quite interesting as a person and interested, and you might be able to get a good job. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean more than that. I mean, the things that you do might be unexpected. Nobody might have thought of giving you those things to do, but, you know, nobody thought to give you staying at home during COVID, but you've done it, and you've learned how to cope with it. And so when something unexpected, you might have a nice job, but, you know, you might be in charge of, you know, making some music, and then, wow, something incredible comes along, and you say, hey, well, I could do that better than anybody before. We know that 75 years before you, well, you might do a bit of work, if you've got a bit of time, looking up famous people who were born between sort of 1935 and 1945, and there's an awful lot of them, and they're pretty jolly good. Helen Mirren, you know, if you watch the movies, she was there, and one of the best actresses I've ever met, you know. And look, just to show you what I mean, here's a...
Actually, Professor, I hate to say it, we're going to have to rush because we've got this. We've got to do. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. What, have you got any plans on Sunday?
Yeah, I think I'm around on Sunday. I'm doing.
Well, I think now would be a very, very good time for us to maybe have a bit of a conference for parents, for teachers, for people who are interested in all this stuff. And we haven't got much going on Sunday. How would you feel about having a conference with parents, teachers, some young people to talk about what school could be like, what it's for? Would you help us with that, do you think, on Sunday?
We could certainly talk about it. And
Great.
I'm building schools all around the world, and I'll tell you what, they're not like the schools we built before all this happened. They're really rather cool places. So we could talk about all that, yeah.
Well, that'd be great.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Professor. So basically, Miss Nelson next week will send everybody the link. They can have a think about that, and they could fill in what they've been doing in lockdown and maybe get a certificate from your system. That sounds fantastic. What do you think of that?
Not maybe, they will. And every little thing on that certificate, somebody had already reported doing.
Brilliant. So Miss Nelson, what do you think of that? Do you think that sounds interesting and the sort of thing that you'd encourage the young people there to do?
Yeah, I think it sounds brilliant. I think that's definitely something as a school we can look at when everyone returns on the 8th.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and those of you who are parents, you know, go home and I mean, we've got loads of people. There's a Spanish version as well, if you want a Spanish version. But
okay, Professor, we'll catch up on Sunday for that. Thank you so much for joining us. And there's lots of interest, lots of interest
goodbye
on
to
YouTube
you, but
here.
most importantly, goodbye to those kids who really are the best, most precious, golden generation. The best kids we will ever see in our lifetime are right there with you now.
Well,
cheers, see you Sunday.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir. It's fantastic to hear from you. We'll organise a conference. I'm now going to cut to a very, very special thing, actually, which is a video to celebrate the creativity, the talent of the wonderful school that we're at today. I'm hoping the audio is going to be nice and loud. If not, Miss is going to sing, and we'll make it up, but we'll see how we go. Cash has got talent. And is there supposed to be music there?
No, it's quiet, don't worry. This is just the introduction to Joseph Cash Has Got Talent 2021.
Oops, that's my fault. Wow.
Because up your sleeves, you got a brand of magic never fails. You got the power in your corner now, and the ammunition in your cam. You got the punch to say, and how all you gotta do is up that lamp, but then I'll say, Mr. What's your name? Whatever.
Hi guys, I'm David Novak and I'm in Class 3AF and today I'm going to show my gymnastics show. Thank you guys for watching. Hello Miss Nelson, my name's Lucky and this is my talent.
Three, two, one, and action!
Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gonna hit the road, gonna hit the road. The sonic change in the atmosphere, architecture unfamiliar. I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green, stick around and you see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone.
to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for you're glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flag, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
My name is Philip Smith, and I'm going to try and balance on 2 footballs at the same time.
Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For your glorious. When the sharp swords wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Hang on, I'm going to try.
Like a small boat on the ocean, these big waves push me down into motion. Like a physical word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all the things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain. I was waiting on night. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. I'm a right song. My power turn on. Starting right. I read the song and it's called Quarantine, and I'm only gonna sing a bit of it here. I'm so bored, miss my friends. Time moves slow to dizzy. Get your mess on, be fast. Or else do you wanna get it? Do you wanna? I think I know your answer that you know. So move your butts, people get in the house. Quick, 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 no.
Dada? Dada! I see a little silhouette of a clown. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Galileo, 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 Figaro.
I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from the distraction. No. Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go? No. Let me throw. Let me chow. 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 No. Burning Eve.
Bye. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.
Wow.
Aren't they incredible?
Miss, that was just on another level. I'm sort of with a couple of things. I thought I was getting a bit clever, and I spoilt it for you a couple of times. So many apologies to those people who I trashed like that. I'm lost for words, Miss. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful, wasn't it? And I thought what was lovely. I had Mr. Dyson phoned me up in the middle of that. What's he said here? Mr. Dyson, who's one of the most famous head teachers in the whole world. He said, outstanding, the lad with the golden locks. He said, I've just rung Nick with my top 3. This is brilliant, Joseph Cash Primary. Lots of love from Leeds. And that's what we're doing today. We're connecting all across the country, people who you have just made happy. People not just in your village, in your town, in your community, but people all over the country. And last night, late at night, I was on the phone and on the internet to somebody in Los Angeles, and he will look at this. So people in Los Angeles will look at this because he's got a 4-year-old boy and he's going to look at this. So Miss Nelson, I think you should be very proud of the boys and girls you've got in the school there. I mean, what are your thoughts looking back at that?
I am extremely proud of them, and I know that's just a small amount of the talent that we have in this school. The children actually have been able to film themselves and send it in. I know, every child in this school has a talent, whether they know what it is yet or they're going to find it, but every child in this school has a talent, and I'm very proud of them. I can't wait for them to come back. I miss them so much. It's so lovely seeing children that we haven't seen for ages. It literally brings a tear to my eye just seeing them. And I have to give a shout out to Zoya, who was the little girl who was second from the end then, who's actually written that song herself. And I'm not sure if you could hear it.
Did she? Gosh.
She said it's a song about lockdown, and it starts off, I'm so bored and I miss my friends. That's how the song starts, that she wrote all on her own. So I thought I just need to give her a big shout out, and I'm going to get the song words off her so we can share that across the school, because that's just a talent and a talent. It's not only a singing talent, but she's written that song as well.
It's just remarkable, Miss. It really is just quite remarkable what's going on here and the talent you've got. And I know that the boys and girls there, they work hard with their art, but I also know that they work very hard with their maths, as we saw there from Parklands. They work very hard, I know, with a number of their subjects, their reading, their writing, the Kashinori, all these little ideas that you have there to encourage them to be creative. It really is just wonderful. And I don't know how we can celebrate this, really. And I've got a little idea which you'll probably sense. I'm jiggling and jokering around here because I've got to turn something off somewhere, because you seem to be, where have I got you? It's gonna be worth waiting for, I can promise you. Why is that? Oh, that's because I've done that there. Okay, so you remember I built this cardboard stage, and we've had a few problems getting it going. But we've learned a lot. We've gone a long way. I saw a talk a few years ago, and somebody said that the gateway, well, they used the word, the gateway drug, they said, actually, to being creative is using cardboard. And look at this. This is a model of Coventry Cathedral that has been made by a man called Darrell Wakelam, who's a very, very clever man. He's a cardboard artist, and he made this model. And we've got lots of me's here. This is how cool this technology is. Look, why Miss Nelson thought one was enough. He made this cardboard model. And while you have been in school, in home, working hard today, some people have been outside working with saws and bits of string, and they've been cutting and they've been sticking and they've been gluing. And I'm going to show you now for the very first time what has been built in your school playground. What's been built in your school playground, boys and girls, is this. And I'm going to get rid of me because I don't want any of me. I'm going to get rid of me because I want this to be absolutely perfect when we get that right the first time. What's been built in your playground to inspire you to not just aim high, but higher than high with your art is a cardboard Coventry Cathedral, half size in your playground. Can you all see that?
I think I'm pinned.
Oh no, hang on, did I pin you by mistake? That shouldn't have happened. Let's unpin you. I wonder, do you know what? I thought that's not a very good reaction. How about this, miss?
Yeah, perfect.
What do you think of that, guys? That is in your playground. And what we're going to be doing over the weekend, we're going to get this working, and tomorrow night, that is in your playground as we speak. And if you don't believe me, there is a photo from the roof next door, and that is Coventry Cathedral in your playground. And on that stage, let's see if I can get up on here. Let's see if I can get myself on this stage. Let's have a look. Here we go. So on the stage just there, we're going to have a disco tomorrow night. At 8 till 9, Callum is going to come and do some DJing. He's in year 4, I think. He's, how old is he? He might be 14. No, he's not 14. Anyway, he's going to be there. We're going to have some talks here during the day. We've got some talks here during tonight. And then at 8:30 tomorrow night, we are going to launch the church tower from the old Coventry Cathedral. We're going to launch that to space, up to Perseverance, the Mars rover, to connect with Perseverance, to connect with people around the world, to show that you are the hashtag golden generation, that you can not just aim high, not just higher than high, not higher than the sky, but you can aim as high as you want with your creativity, with your art, with the support of your teachers, your brave school leaders, your parents, creative carers, business people, the whole community. People who've had children, not children, are going to be here for you. And you have to do the work. You have to work hard to find what you want to be passionate about, what you want to make some money out of, make some friends with, and what you want to be when you grow up. I'm going to get Miss. What do you think of our cardboard model there, Miss?
It's incredible. It's amazing. I'm going to go out and see it now when all the children have gone.
So we're going to have some fun with that, I think, this weekend, aren't we?
We are indeed.
So is there anything else you wanted to cover with Cash's Got Talent? That was an incredible film. You aren't going to ask me.
We need some winners, Nick.
I was afraid you were going to pin that one on me, Miss.
Well, I know what the children are like. They are brilliant, and some of them are a little competitive as well. So they will be wanting to know who your top 3 are. I tell you what, to help you out, I can make Miss Burnside pick one, Miss Scott pick one, you pick one, and I'll pick one. How's that? So we can have 4 winners. We can all pick our favourites.
Well, I've actually wrote 4 down. Well, I've got 4 some directions, but we'll have. Do you know what I'm going to do, Miss? I'm going to pick 4 now, and if you do one each, that'll be 7 or 8, and I'll print them all an I Love Art T-shirt. How about that?
Amazing! That's a fantastic prize.
But they've got to do an I Love Art logo. And in fact, everybody out there today, when we finished, because school's finished now, it doesn't mean you go back on your PlayStation necessarily for too long. I'd like people to design something that says, I love art. You could copy this, you could draw, make, paint, and we'll pick out. And tomorrow I'm going to pick 10, and we're going to give 10 winners tomorrow. So look out for hashtag I Love Art 21. That will be the competition tomorrow. And we're going to do now. So I actually really, what caught my eye, Miss, was I think I'm going to go with Chris Dyson here. That girl playing the piano was absolutely wonderful.
Anita?
I think it was Anita, wasn't it? She was absolutely super. She did a really good job. And we've got some good responses coming in here. Somebody says, well done too for Mrs. Netley. We've got cool. We've got brilliant. People are really loving this. It went really well. The other one, I think, really touched me actually was that young boy who was doing the gymnastics. I thought he was fantastic because it felt like dance and exercise, and I'm getting a bit old now, but I think the thing about dancing is it can be good exercise as well. Do you know what I mean? So
that's David, and he was very flexible, wasn't he? He was very talented.
He was, Miss. He was very clever, very clever. So that was a great one. I love, do you know, one of the happiest moments I get going to schools when I do my talk is when I say to the children, your art could be painting, photography, cooking, coding, robots, rockets, dancing, DJing, fashion, or football. And I know a lot of girls and I know a lot of boys love their football, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's your passion. It's something you can enjoy. You can get fit, you can make friends, you might make some money, you might make the whatever. And if you've got a dream to be a professional footballer for the Sky Blues, that's a great dream. But work hard at school, do your reading, do your writing, so that one day maybe you break your leg. My granddad played for Norwich City, won the trial, he got a game and he broke his ankle. He never played again. Had to go and run a canning factory. Marcus Rashford, anything could happen to him, but Marcus Rashford's a clever young man. He's worked hard, so he's got all those good skills. So if he decides to stop doing football, he can do something else, and that's what's called a plan B. So I thought that boy who was balancing on the footballs miss deserves one. I thought that was fantastic.
Philip.
Yeah. And I thought there was a girl at the end who I thought was she waved as if it was all over, which is why I started pressing the button. So it's her fault I went terribly wrong. I'm only joking. But I thought she was lovely. And I think she should get one as well, Miss, because she really touched me with her dancing. It was beautiful. So
Sadar now.
yeah, I think so. So you picked 3 as well.
Oh, okay. So, well, if I go Miss Burnside, I'm coming to you. And Miss Scott, who do you think?
Oh, this is tricky because they're all really good, but I am going to stick with my year 4 team that created that animation, the 3 boys that were shared, because I know they've worked really hard on that, and that's actually a new skill that they've learned and developed this week. So I'm going to go for the 3 year 4 boys that made that little mini animation that was shared in the middle.
That's
brilliant. Okay, brilliant.
Okay, Miss Scott.
I also had Sajana because I thought that she was doing 3 different types of talent, which I think shows, as you were saying there, Nick, about Marcus Rashford being really adaptable. But my second choice, it was Scarlett and Willow, 2 sisters working together, singing a beautiful song. It was really joyful. So they're my winners.
Wonderful.
And I think I'll go with the girl I mentioned earlier. Then, as no one else has picked, I'm going to go with Zoya for writing and singing her own song. So that's a lot of T-shirts, Nick, we're going to need from you. And I will also be buying them all some chocolate as a special treat for winning.
Well, I'll be honest with you. By the time I've finished with all this, I'm going to have a couple of days off, I think, and then I'll start printing T-shirts next week. I got 2 more days of this madness. I think we'll get it working later on. But I'm glad you like our cathedral, inspired by the creativity. Tomorrow, gosh, we've got a super day tomorrow. Tomorrow, Daryl Wakelam is one of the most amazing cardboard artists in Britain, and he is going to show you how he made this beautiful cardboard model from cardboard, and he's going to show you how he made the rocket, so you could all make a rocket. And I'll show you something really cool here. Watch. This rocket takes off and goes to space. So there you go. That's something to be looking out for tomorrow. And if you can see there, but all the lovely detail, it's just beautiful. And we've had a fantastic computer graphics artist who's made our computer model here, and we've got drone footage. And tomorrow you are going to see video from the sky. We're getting a drone back tomorrow, and we're going to video from the sky the rocket taking off at 8:30 tomorrow night. So there you go. I think we're probably done, are we, Miss?
I think so. I think you can go and have a cup of tea and put your feet up before your next bit.
Oh my goodness! I'll tell you what. They say there's no peace for the wicked, don't they?
You've done very well. It's been a brilliant day. Thank you so much for choosing us to take part of all the hundreds of schools in the country. You chose us, and we really appreciate that, Nick. It's been a brilliant day.
Well, you know, we choose people like you, brave school leaders who say yes when people like me come into their school and say, can we do something, Miss? Can we inspire young people? We want people to be #inspired to learn. Thank you. Are you going to come for dance tomorrow night?
Yes, I'll be there.
So 8 o'clock for the kids and school disco, and then 10 till 12. It's all going to get a bit messy. Get everybody in bed, and then we'll have a fantastic evening. Thanks, Mrs. Scott, Mrs. Adams, Mrs. Burnside, Miss Nelson, and all your colleagues. Can't thank you enough. We've got so much support and solidarity for you. I know it's been a tough week, a tough year for teachers. Mrs. Cooper there. It's been a very tough year and week for teachers particularly, but we've got your back. We're here as a community, standing side by side with all of you. Tomorrow we've got the Culture Minister, Carolyn Dynage. She's going to come and she's going to talk about the power of art and creativity. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. Stormzy's co-author. I could go on. Download the programme, and we'll see you all again. Thank you so much for joining us today, folks. Bye-bye. Wow, well, what a fantastic day. I don't know what more to say, and I don't know how to finish that. I'm just going to probably just play my little video and go and have a cup of tea, because one thing I've learned in this business is that when a head teacher or school community leader says something to you, you do as you're told. And when somebody tells me to go and have a cup of tea, they don't have to tell me twice, I'll tell you now. So we're going to have a bit of disco ball.
The history of disco and where that came from, people finding a place to feel they belonged, or wanted to escape to. I do like the notion of a disco ball. You just have to put one light on it and it refracts light everywhere, and just kind of makes everything look pretty and in motion. And yeah, so it's kind of finding yourself through the darkness or through the struggle. So I think that's one of the reasons that disco has resonated so well this year.
All right, yeah, you take that down. Darryl, where do you want the cardboard? Okay, mate, take that then. We're flat out here at Joseph Cash Primary School up in Coventry. We've got to take this whole Tracy Island down because Darryl Wakelam has built us a cardboard cathedral that we've got to build here on the playing field for our hashtag Coventry weekend. Hashtag Fun Day Friday 21. We've got a whole day of activities. Prince of Wales School in Dorchester, we're doing a live link to a rhinoceros in Wales that you're going to be able to learn how to draw. We've got a whole load of stuff that's been curated by Jude Orson, who co-wrote Rise Up, which is Stormzy's blog, and we've got DJs and MCs late into the night. Saturday is our hashtag Art of Community 21 day, which has been co-curated by the amazing Sandra Godley. Darryl Wakelam is going to show us how to turn the cathedral tower here into a rocket that we can launch Saturday night, and Tyron Carbordia's live linking in from Russia to show us how to build our own cardboard parade. And we're delighted that the Art and Culture Minister, Caroline Dinage, is going to join us on Saturday to say a few words as well. Saturday night, we've got DJs, we've got discos, because we're going to be dancing under the world's second biggest mirror disco ball. Rob the Bank's got the first one, you wouldn't let us borrow it. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Chris Sullivan's going to be doing his fire pit chats. Friday night with Rankin Jr., who is the son of Rankin Roger of the Beat. Saturday, it's Neville Staples, one of the first members of the Specials, with his partner, Christine, and Basie from the Selector. This city is going to show the country how it can rise from the ashes again and take us with it. We've had enough of all this talk about whether our kids are going to keep up or not. The challenge is us keeping up with them. And Sunday is the hashtag EvolvedEd21 co-conference, co-curated with this legend, Professor Stephen Heppel. We've got amazing tech. That means if you want to perform, if you want to read, you want to sing, you want to play, you want to perform, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you can video call in on a green screen and we can put you on our stage. So download the brochure, hashtag Coventry21, a 3-day community art festival for all our kids and all our futures. Be a part of it.